Microcontrollers are a huge part of hardware products, whether in flight controllers, automated systems, and even aircrafts. Building a cool hardware project requires programming microcontrollers to make use of its peripherals. In this series, we are going to explore microcontroller peripherals in details. We will see how real hardware interacts with software and how instructions you write in C translate into actions in the real world. But first, we will see how to set up our development environment, write, compile, and upload our first firmware to a microcontroller. Before we can upload the program into the flash memory of a microcontroller, we need the right tools and a simple electronic setup. First, we need a flash programmer. A flash programmer is a device that can write, erase, and read firmware directly from a microcontroller's flash memory. It connects your computer to the target chip and transfers the compiled program into the flash memory so the microcontroller can run your code even after power is removed. Next, we need a crystal oscillator. The crystal oscillator provides a stable external clock signal. This clock controls the timing and speed at which the microcontroller operates. We also need a few supporting electronic components such as capacitors and resistors. A stable power supply is essential. Without clean and steady power, the microcontroller may behave unpredictably. Finally, we need a breadboard. The breadboard allows us to mount and connect all the components easily without soldering. Once all these tools and components are ready, we can confidently proceed to program and test our microcontroller. To make things easier, in this series, we will use the Arduino Uno development board. The Arduino Uno already solves most of the hardware requirements we discussed earlier. It has the microcontroller, the clock source, the power regulation, and the required supporting components already soldered on the board. This saves us time and reduces wiring complexity. Another important advantage is that we can program the microcontroller using direct AVR syntax. That is exactly what we'll be doing in this series. The Arduino Uno uses the Atmega 328P microcontroller. This chip comes with a pre-programmed bootloader. The bootloader is a small program that is already installed inside the microcontroller. It allows us to upload new firmware without using a separate hardware programmer. When the microcontroller powers up, the bootloader runs first. It listens for incoming data from a computer and writes the new program into flash memory. In simple terms, it is the software gateway that allows code to be loaded into the chip. On the Arduino Uno, programming through the bootloader happens via UART communication, aka UART. The USB port on the Arduino board does not connect directly to the Atmega 328P. Instead, it connects to a small converter chip. This chip converts USB signals into UART signals. Those UART signals are then connected to the microcontroller's UART pins, which carries the uploaded program to the flash memory of the microcontroller. The board also provides ICSP pins. This pin allows the microcontroller to be programmed directly. This method requires a flash programmer as it bypasses the bootloader completely. The ICSP interface is especially useful if the bootloader becomes corrupted or erased. And if a microcontroller does not have a bootloader installed, it must be programmed through the ICSP pins. For this series, the Arduino IDE is a perfect choice. It already comes with the required toolchain. You don't need to install the AVR compiler separately. Everything is bundled and ready to use. It also provides a clean and simple interface. You can write, compile, and upload your code to your development board in just a few clicks. This makes it very beginner friendly and efficient. Personally, I prefer using Visual Studio Code as it makes the development process feel more professional. However, it requires extra setup. On my Linux Mint, I have to manually install the AVR toolchain. I also need to manually type in commands on my terminal. It definitely takes more effort, but in return, I gain full control over my development environment and also understand exactly what happens during compilation and uploading. And honestly, there is something very satisfying about building and running everything directly from the terminal. If you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people who can benefit from it. I will create a new directory to contain all the projects for this series. Inside that directory, I'll create a new file with a .c extension named blink. Our first program will be a simple blink program that will toggle the Arduino built-in LED every 1 second. First, we include the IO header file from the AVR folder. Next, we include the delay header file from the util folder. Then we create the main function. All our code will be written inside the main function. We will not go into detailed explanation in this video, as we will break the code down properly in the next video. For now, we set the built-in LED pin as an output using the data direction register. We will write it in binary so you can clearly visualize what is happening. The data direction register for port B is set to binary 001 00000. Next, we create an infinite loop. This loop will continue running as long as the microcontroller has power. Inside the loop, we set the port B register to binary 001 00000. This turns the LED on. Then we add a delay of 1000 milliseconds, that is 1 second. After that, we turn the LED off. Then we wait for another 1 second. This process repeats continuously until the microcontroller is powered off. After writing our program, the next step is to compile it into machine code. To do this, we use the AVR toolchain from the terminal. AVR GCC is a C compiler for AVR microcontrollers. It takes our C source file and converts it into machine code that the microcontroller understands. To compile the code, open the terminal, then run the avr-gcc command. In that command, we must specify the exact microcontroller we are using. We also need to define the clock speed so timing functions like delay work correctly. Next, we use the OS flag. This tells the compiler to optimize the program for size. In embedded systems, smaller code is usually better because memory is limited. After that, we tell the compiler which file to compile. In our case, that is the blink.c file. Finally, we specify the output file name. The compiled output will have a .o extension. Once this setup is complete, our human readable C code has been transformed into machine level instructions ready for the next stage. When we compile our blink.c file, we first get a .o file. That .o file contains machine code, but it's not a complete program ready for flash. It only contains the machine instructions generated from our blink function and whatever we wrote inside main. It does not yet contain the startup code required for a microcontroller to run properly. Before your main function executes, several important things must happen. The stack pointer must be initialized. The vector table must be defined. Memory sections like data must be prepared. All of this startup logic is necessary before blinking LED code can even begin. These additional pieces are provided by the AVR standard libraries. When we run AVR-GCC again for linking, we specify the exact microcontroller. Then we pass in the .o file. Then we specify the name of the output file with a .elf extension. During this linking stage, the compiler pulls in the required startup files and combines them with our object file. The result is a fully linked .elf file. Both the .o file and the .elf file contains machine code, but they are not the same. If you disassemble the .o file, you will mostly see only the instructions from your main function. But if you disassemble the linked.elf file, you will see much more. You will find the interrupt vector table at the beginning. You will also see startup routines, and eventually you will see your main function. At this point, we have a compiled file in executable and linkable format. But we cannot upload an ELF file directly to a microcontroller. Microcontrollers expect a .hex file, so we need to convert the ELF file into an Intel hex file. To do that, we use AVR obj copy. In the terminal, run AVR obj copy. Use the O flag to specify the output format as Intel hex. Then instruct it to remove the EEPROM section since we are not using it. Next, provide the input file, which is the .elf file. Then specify the name of the output file, which will have a .hex extension. Now we have a .hex file ready to be uploaded to the microcontroller. This is where AVR dude comes into play. Plug in your Arduino board. In the terminal, run AVR dude. Specify the programmer type. Specify the microcontroller model. Provide the USB port where the board is connected. Set the correct baud rate. Then instruct AVR dude to write the .hex file into the flash memory of the microcontroller. If everything is correct, when you press enter, you will see the RX and the TX LED indicators blinking for a few seconds. After that, the program will begin running. Your built-in LED should now blink every second. If you are using the Arduino IDE, all of this happens behind the scenes. You simply select the board, click compile and click upload. That is the convenience of an IDE. Typing long compilation and upload commands every time can be tiring. To make things easier on the terminal, we use a makefile. A makefile allows us to replace all those long commands with simple instructions. Instead of typing multiple toolchain commands, we only type one short command. First, make sure the make utility is installed on your VS Code. Then inside the same directory as your source file, create a new file named Makefile. Be careful with the name. The letter M must be uppercase. Inside that file, we define the compilation and the upload rules. I will place the content of the Makefile in the video description. Once the Makefile is ready, compiling becomes simple. You just type make to build the project. To upload the program, you type make upload, and that is it. Now you have a cleaner workflow, but you still maintain full control of the toolchain. After setting everything up, you can experiment with delay value in your code. Reduce it to make the LED blink faster and increase it to make it blink slower. That will be all for today. In our next video, we will talk about GPIOs in details, the most important peripheral on a microcontroller. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Thank you for watching.